Hey everybody, this is Joshua Tucker, the tendinitis expert. And in this video, we're going to talk about the topic, what is tendinitis? And as a bonus, by the end you'll know that it's all the same thing. So first let's start with where you can get tendinitis, because that leads us somewhere. So you can have tendinitis symptoms at the wrist, at the thumb, technically kind of anywhere in the hand. Tennis elbow and golfer's elbow is either side of the forearm at the elbow, basically. You can have shoulder tendinitis, most anywhere around there. You can have bicep tendinitis at the elbow or at the shoulder. Technically, you can have pec tendinitis, but you don't see that very often. Hip tendinitis, anywhere around the knee tendinitis. Ankle tendinitis. Achilles tendinitis, which you can feel anywhere high or low, including the heel. Plantar fasciitis, foot symptoms. And if you don't think that plantar fasciitis is tendinitis, think again. So those are the common places, and you kind of know about those. But there's also some things that are also tendinitis, but they're not really called tendinitis. For instance, if you've had a whiplash injury in the past and still have pain or problems, that's because you have a tendinitis dynamic. A lot of back pain, including ruptured disc, bulging disc, facet joint syndrome, etc. It's not called tendinitis, but it's all the same thing. And we'll get into why that is, but ultimately it's because tendinitis is a dynamic. It's a dynamic made up of multiple factors. Along those lines, if you have an Achilles tendinitis diagnosis and a wrist tendinitis diagnosis, for instance, you might think that you have two different things going on. Your doctor certainly thinks you have two different things going on, but really, you only have one thing going on, potentially in different locations. Tendinitis is tendinitis no matter where it shows up. Again, because it's a dynamic. So let's move on to answer the question of what is tendinitis. As I will say one more time, tendinitis is a dynamic. It's made up of multiple factors, primarily three factors, which is muscle and connective tissue tightness, inflammation process, and nutritional insufficiency. Those three factors all work together to cause more of themselves, and that is the tendinitis dynamic. That's why your tendinitis showed up. That's why your tendinitis stays in place. That's why some things your doctors prescribed for you didn't help, because it didn't adequately deal with the tightness and or the inflammation and or the nutritional insufficiency. So in a nutshell, and I'm going to keep this short, this is tendinitis. So even if you have pain in the forearm or the hip or the knee, anywhere around there, it's all because of this right here. And maybe you've spent months or years seeing a doctor and your doctor hasn't fixed it yet. Well, why is that? It's because your doctor either doesn't know about this or doesn't believe in it, or, as embarrassing it is to say, they think that if you have pain right here at the wrist, that's where the problem is, they think. But that's not where the problem is. The problem is the entire ecology of the area. So that's why your doctor hasn't fixed it yet, is because it just hasn't done the right things. And one can have opinions about that, but ultimately, you still have symptoms, and there's reasons you still have symptoms. And if you want to get rid of the symptoms, then you can. Along those lines, what does it take to fix tendinitis? Well, it's a bit repetitive, but again, if you want to fix tendinitis, you have to get rid of the muscle and connective tissue tightness, and you have to get rid of the inflammation process, and you have to get rid of the nutritional insufficiency. Until you do enough of those three things, you will continue to have symptoms. It's as simple as that. And that's why rest doesn't work, is because rest doesn't get rid of tightness or inflammation, and it doesn't fix the lack of nutrition. That's why corticosteroid injections and anti-inflammatories don't work, is because while it might lower inflammation, it doesn't get rid of the cause of inflammation. So it's going to come right back. Tendinitis is not a weakness problem, so that's why strengthening doesn't work very well. Sometimes it might, depending. And stretching can be very helpful, but it doesn't target what needs to be targeted very well. So that's why that has limited benefit available. So that was kind of a short overview, but it is that simple. Tendinitis is a dynamic. To get rid of it, you have to get rid of the factors that are involved. It is simple as that. If you'd like to find out more, visit my website, tendonitisexpert.com. There's all sorts of tendinitis related info there, including your specific quote unquote kind of tendinitis. And I look forward to working with you. See you there.